Jumping into yet another race, it's Assetto Corsa crazy time because this sim racing system is that good. It's just so easy to get into full races with people behaving themselves, which utterly transforms sim racing. In some ways, and this has been the case with iRacing, a lot of the reason why people have spent money on iRacing, despite people I know that don't like how it handles, I don't mind how some of the cars handle, but people I know that don't like how it handles, they really don't like how it handles, will pay and do iRacing because the actual quality and calibre of the driving, once you get your rank up, makes it more realistic than a game that might necessarily have a better tyre model or more detail in other aspects and components. And well, this sim racing system, so far the races I've had, have produced really realistic racing, and that combined with the tyre model of AC, which I really like the tyre model in AC and how it feels, how the cars handle on and over the limit in AC is something I think that Kunos have got really right. That combined with the sim racing system makes this amazing. But of course, the temptations are always there to click on these flash games in the ads on the right here. Parking simulator. I can't joke because I used to make flash games, so you know. Some people work very hard to make these, and you know, working in Flash is a nightmare. But we're ready to go to GT2 Silverstone GP. I don't know if it's a short track or a large track. It's only a sprint race. You'll see here. We've got the details. 20-lap race, unless it's 20 minutes, because this is a bit messed up at the moment. But 10 minutes qualifying. We'll see how this goes. I'm not sure if we'll get to the end of it. I'm not sure if we'll burst into flames. But either way, it should be nice and fun. Double check that OBS is recording. Oh, we'll let it load into the game first. Don't want to push our luck with recording. Is OBS going? Yes. Yes, it is. Well, we need to get on the track and see if there's noises coming through into OBS. Yes, we're good. Recording, everything's going. Now we've got the tyre temps on the side, which hopefully work a bit better with this car. We've got the laps and everything on the screen. We're all good to go. We've got the names. Thiago Lima is in the server with us, which is nice. A friend from Sim Racing Portugal. And well, he's normally about the same. He's faster than us when he practices, but when we practice, we're about the same. So this should be interesting, though. I think he's probably, and actually in GT2 cars, it might actually be about the same or slower than me. He's a lot faster than me in road cars, but when it gets to proper sporty cars, we put the challenge. So we don't know if the server's going to be able to handle the load because this is obviously this is all a new test. Nice lighting here, but everything seems to be good. We've got a minute to learn this layout. I've just double checked which layout it is. Absolutely fantastic. Now I've been fiddling with the force feedback settings a little bit to put a bit of a normally I don't like fake force feedback, like the effects, but we have to watch out. A little bit of kick there. One thing I've found is putting a bit of the track texture effect on, very subtly, like 10%, gives you a little bit of rumble through the wheel, which then sort of makes you feel a little bit more connected without getting in the way or distorting the overall loading of the car and important force feedback effects. I say effects, or the important core force feedback. Oh, that's it. It can follow through there. It's a full Silverstone track. So we're going to have to concentrate on this. So I might not be able to talk too much because the last time I drove this properly was in R-Factor 2. And I can tell right now the way around these corners is slightly different, especially with the tyres cold. So well, we've got 10 minutes. We've got 10 minutes of 10 minutes of practice, 10 minutes of qualifying to get this going. I was just checking my recording. 10 minutes of quali to learn the layout with this car. That's how they do it in the real world. They just jump into a £250,000 car, probably 500. Well, no, I don't know. I guess it's probably about £350,000. It's hard to put the price on these cars because, you know, they're ridiculously expensive, and the cost is really in the team and the dragging it around and the hours put into it rather than the raw vehicle cost. But let's say it's a sort of £300,000, £400,000 car. that's what they do in the real world. They just jump into a £400,000 car on the track and learn it immediately. No practice. We're going to have to lean on the traction control and ABS to start things off, but with this event, what we'll do, this is our first time driving this car on this event, but because it's every evening, I think it's every 4 hours this one, we'll do a couple of them and then we'll get into it. And the best way to learn is, of course, trial by fire. You could learn offline, but why bother? As long as you're not driving into people, it's better to learn with other cars on the track, and then you can use them as a reference to where you should be braking, seeing what lines people tend to get into. Just helps you pick things up quicker. I have to say, the update in AC, the graphical improvements are really nice. A little bit more detail in the track textures than lighting. It might just be because I've moved my rig around and turned the graphics up as well, but looks absolutely gorgeous how the light's being picked up by the track and the track side. And they've this server's been set up as sort of evening. Of course, I'm just being excited by the fact I'm seeing part of the United Kingdom here in sunshine. That's a rare event. So my front left tyre was hotter than a volcano there. Don't know what's going on. We've got cars flying in the air. Look like a car flying in the air, or someone throwing a top hat. Top hat simulation. Soft stick. Oh god, I don't even know if we're going to need to pit. I've not set this up. So we're just going to go with it. We'll see how it goes in this race. This could be interesting. I should have consulted the manual before getting into this, but there we go. Claudio Lada in front of us, and we're still in the evening. Kunos still don't trust drivers to do their pit speed limit. You have to put up with the game doing that for you. So, look at the car models reflecting the sun. Again, as I say, you don't normally get to see reflections in the United Kingdom, flares, or bright lights in general. So this is a unique experience. As he locks his wheels up, he's got his ABS off for sure. And to be honest, these cars are a lot more fun when you do turn the ABS off and the traction control off. But the real-world drivers and the real-world cars, they do tend to drive them in races with some traction control and some ABS. It's not against the rules, and I guess, you know, it's generally super rich people. Well, we've got to watch out for that. If we chuck the car in too much, it's just going to slide out sideways. These GT2 is generally driven by very wealthy people that want something sort of somewhat approachable, but nice and fast still. I think we've absolutely baked the tyres there, so we have to watch out for that. No sliding, otherwise you're in trouble. I wonder how long it'll take for them to call. Whoa, okay. Claudio Loader there, losing control. Wonder how long it takes for them to come back. I mean, I don't even know what temperature's a good temperature. There you go, they're starting to cool down now, so. With the updates, the game keeps changing. You have to relearn it each time. So in the old, normally on that corner, you chuck it in and get it right across the corner. And I think that's still going to be the case. It's just need to do it gently though. A bit of an initial throw in, but done very smooth. And it seems that's the case with the newer version of AC. You can chuck yourself, well, you sort of go to chuck it in, but you can end up inducing understeer a lot more easily than before. You can still chuck the car in there, you just have to do it in a way where you work with the mass a bit more so you don't just induce understeer and not get around the corner. There we go, tyres all green. Can only assume green is good. Green like the fields that the cows eat from. 6 minutes left in qualifying. Okay, so I think we can get... From my experience with GT2 cars in R52, normally that corner is just a lift-off, turn-in lift-off, and you sort of mildly understeer through it, and then these corners are sort of lift-off corners as well, and if you cut them just right, you can smoothly link them up. And of course I didn't cut it just right there. Lacking bite from these tyres here, actually. Need to get the... I think Silverstone is one of those tracks where you have to get the first corner right, otherwise the next corner's wrong, the next corner's wrong, the next corner's wrong, and it just gets worse and worse, and you realise you've destroyed everything by making one mistake on the first corner that you were entering. We'll get there. We haven't got one lap in yet, so we're going to... It's probably actually better for us to qualify back of the grid so we don't kill anyone. So we get braking in early there. Probably don't even need to brake that much. Tuck it in, carry the speed through the corner. It's coming back to this track. It is, I think the R52 version of it is actually pretty similar. Some slightly different sort of cues as to where brake points are, and the track texture is obviously different. I mean, I tend to do a lot of, in terms of being aware of where the car is on the track, I tend to get it a lot from the track texture, which can be quite tricky when you go from sim to sim. Probably a bad idea. Normally, most people use like a big trackside object or a actual brake board. That's the traditional way of knowing where you are on the track. Well, it's very hard to get it to stick there, or know how much you can carry through. So you've got to sort of go wide to then go in, and then get onto this to then get on the power to then just wide on the left here on the Chapel corner. Well, you can see we're slowly clicking away in the brain. Not the fastest of people mentally and driving, but you've got to work with what you've got, really, haven't you? You can complain or you can get on with it. Or do both, that's what I do. Complain and try and get on with it. Something cathartic about complaining. International pit straight. Oh, come on. We need to look for the turning point, get that lined up. Again, that is something I find with the VR headsets that really helps. I find it a lot easier or a lot quicker to sort of nail down points of the track, be aware of the car position. I think it's maybe because there's more information with it being stereoscopic. There might be just been more information there because because you've got the depth. It's just a lot easier to place yourself and remember from previous laps, I find. That could just be a placebo. Maybe you just tend to pay more attention in VR just because it feels more real. 12th on the grid. We're going to be right in the middle of the carnage here. This is going to be like D-Day beach landing in expensive cars. So we'll see. See what happens. Don't dare do that properly at the moment. That's the other thing. Although they've improved it a lot, actually, since in AC it used to be that if you clipped corners, it would be very easy to get the car into a sort of oscillated bounce that you couldn't come out of, and that was especially a problem on Imola especially with these GT2 cars. But I think they've really improved the suspension. They did that a couple of patches ago, probably 2 or so big releases ago. I think that's one of the big things that they improved was the car suspension, which unfortunately also reduced the feel of the force feedback, but it improved the overall handling of the vehicles, I think. So now you can actually clip curbs without the cars taking ages to come back from an oscillation. Of course, the car's still balancing, still not ideal, but you can get away with it a bit more. We're going so slow around here. Oh dear. Getting faster each lap though, that's always good. Not hit my personal wall. So it normally takes me about 7 hours to get to my wall. And what I'll do is I'll spend, really if I want to get up to pace, which is probably worth doing it now we've got this sim racing system. It'll take me like 2 or 3 hours one day. I'll sleep on it and improve dramatically the next day. Jump in and the brain sort of absorbed it. And then probably do like 2 or 3 hours that day. Then it sort of improves and you obviously see smaller and smaller returns. And then after about 7 hours total of doing that, I'll start hitting a wall. And there's no improvement. Oh, here we go. We're going to have to make do with 13th. We'll stay at the back. Hopefully we can avoid crashing. We'll see how long we can keep going for. Partly I just think it'll be interesting to see how clean the driving is as we go a bit wide through there and you see all that time disappearing. You have to get those windy corners absolutely spot on. That's the tricky part with Silverstone, is nailing the flowing corners and getting the most from them. Oh dear. We've got to be aware of that whilst we're racing. We'll make a note of that. Very easy to get into, if you're offline on that corner, it's very easy to just start slowly sliding wide. With this being a 20 lap race, you should be able to do it on one set of tyres, I'd have thought. So we'll give that a go. Not sure how much fuel. We've done enough laps here for it to give us a fuel gauge. Oh, we need to get off the track here. What am I doing? Forgetting that people might actually be finishing their lap. Not a good idea to park right on the corner to exit. Okay, so see what's going on in the chat room in game. People cut the track on quali. Thiago Lima's done his first place there. I mean, look how much we're off the pace here. We're last. We need to go to school here. Knowing Thiago's put the practice in. He's sneaky like that. You can watch out. Drugs the rest of the competition and puts loads of laps in. I think I might go with the slick mediums. Oh, the race lap's only 10 laps of the race, so okay, we can go with the slick softs. I thought it was a 20 lap race, so that's fine. We're just going to go with people might have setups, of course, so, and that's always something that's important if you're doing more serious racing. Setups make a huge difference. Obviously, we're nowhere near the actual track pace for break points and racing line at the moment, so for us, it won't make that much difference. But once we've had a bit more practice, setups are going to make, especially with GT2 cars, it's going to be a good sort of 1.5 to 2 seconds in it, just for having a good setup. There we go, and it's lights off. Go, go, go! Smoke. Traction control doing the work for me. Chris Twigger in front, Claudio Larda also in front. Brakes, watch out here. Probably going to be a spin, but the driving, everyone's got through there pretty cleanly. And this is a 16 car grid. This looks very good indeed. To say that, as I said, the calibre of the driving on this sim racing system has been superb. The traction control doing all the work there is hilarious. Whoa, where's he going? What's that? He's off to the chippy. He's someone's made a nice fish and chips meal for him, and he's like, okay, I'm having that. He just went straight off the track. It wasn't a case of him losing control a little bit. He was straight off. Oh, we're getting up on Chris Twigger. The pressure getting to him. We might be slow, but Game of Muscle doesn't feel pressure. Oh, he's going to push us off the track. We don't want to be here. We'll let him. There we go. Was playing that a bit safe. We'll put pressure on him, but we won't drive into him, or hopefully stay in position so we can't get hit if he loses it. What's nice as well is actually learning people's names, and then you get a sort of appreciation for how those people tend to drive, and that really helps. It's kind of like poker, really, where you get an idea of how aggressive people tend to be, or how in control they are on the limit, or how they tend to be under pressure, and then you can use that to decide if you want to risk it for a biscuit or if you're going to play it safe. Clodo Loader in front of us. Look at this. We've got Twigger, Mr. Twigger, all over our tailpipe. As we totally outbrake ourselves there. Disaster. We're probably going to get another car on our tail here. Who's behind us? Gone is his abbreviated name. Can't see his name tagged in the mirror, unfortunately. I see, we can just follow through that. What am I doing? I thought there'd been a car. Oh no, it has been a car spinning. I was going to say, I thought there'd been a car spinning, but it was the ambulance. But it was actually a white BMW that had lost control. But there's an ambulance behind him as well, probably for that white BMW. He called it in advance. Moving up through the grid as people die from the pressure. Oh, you get into these sort of stuck slides though. Traction control doing it all. Oh, that is not the fast way through there. Well, this is embarrassing. We need some Red Bull. Oh, come on. Come on, vehicle. We need to get at least behind someone. As long as I feel like I'm close to some other cars, it's not too depressing. I'm reluctant to drive super aggressive though, because whoa, there's that. Let's take advantage. Oh, we're in the sandwich. We need the Oculus Rift there. We took advantage of that, but he's still to us. These guys are probably faster than us, so we'll get in front of them and troll them. I'm going to have to brake super early because I'm way in the wrong line through there. He's gone wide. There you go. Sorry about that, guys, but oh, don't want to go into first like that. We're so slow, but they can't do anything because the people are driving cleanly. Sorry. Apologies. They shouldn't have let me go past, really. They've only got themselves to blame. They were scrapping. I took advantage of it. That's what you got to do if you're not fast. Got to be like Robin Hood and rob the carriage. If the horse trips over, take the money from the carriage and run away. Somehow we're in 9th place. Oh, someone's lagging. Oh, that's not the server. Oh dear, that is not the break point for that. I think I've got the force feedback set up really nice. I'm getting good, as I say, having a little bit of track texture, but the core force feedback, a little bit of slip on as well. It's given me enough to feel when I'm over driving. I can clearly feel the understeer, and when I oversteer, it's very easy to catch the rim. We've took that so slow. Oh no, that was all right actually. It felt slow, but apparently it wasn't. trying to be as smooth as possible. We're actually using the rim we're using to drive with. I just realised the GTE rim, I think, is actually this Ferrari. Well, it's a sort of knockoff of the actual car that we're driving in game. So it's the ultimate authentic experience. Oh God, come on. So hard to stick these out. A lot of these corners are slightly off camber as well, so, or they're not necessarily off camber, but they're just not set up in a way that helps you. And I think we might want to be doing these in second gear, not first. And also, I think I need to ignore, I'm not sure if I should ignore the car's flashing lights or the UI gear shift. I'm not sure which is right, which is the actual one to shift on. But now, what's nice is the brake bar seems to be set up pretty decent with this, where on the faster corners, as I'm braking into the corners, the car's slightly oversteering into them in a nice way. Where so if I'm going into them just right, you can sort of trail brake and use the brake to actually get the oversteer to smoothly take the corner. Which is, it's really nice when you get the setup just right. As I'm using the default, so it's just coincidence. But when you actually get a setup where that all links up spot on, and you normally I've not set up with this car, but normally I have the brake bias settings so I can just twiddle it. Oh, it's a bit too much. So you can just twiddle it mid-race. It's really satisfying when you get that all linked up, so the car just drives itself through the corners with the brake sort of doing the steering. You don't really have to do much on the wheel other than keep the car behaving itself. Whoa, I'm going to watch out when the tyres go. That corner is going to be a nightmare. And the tyres, well, they seem like they're doing all right at the moment, but I think it's around about like 6 or 7 that the tyres on this will be in trouble. Depends how many of these frying pan slides I keep doing. I'm sorry I didn't put the delta on the screen. Or not the delta, the position difference. We just gained a place there. Someone's lost control. They must have gone on the fake grass, and as a result accidentally spun the car getting on the throttle. Mind you, they probably aren't cheating with the traction control. I mean, it's not cheating. As I say, the real world drivers would have traction control on, but it's not as fun with it on. But I'm getting to grips with things, so that's the excuse I'm using. We all know Game of Muscle isn't the best of drivers, so you've got to take what you can. Oh! That's dealt. We're up almost half a second. I think the key thing as well when you're learning a track and trying to get faster on it, trying to drive it slightly more, we can't keep doing that, we're going to absolutely bait the tyres. When you're getting to grips with the track and you're picking it up, if you keep your delta on the screen, so you're aware of what you did when you coincidentally gained a bunch of time. Oh dear, that's getting worse and worse lap on lap. We might actually, I can see the cars in the distance, so we might actually be catching if we don't do what we just did there. But there are a lot of corners, especially on more wish-washy tracks, where you find surprising ways to get time on them. There might be a line through them that you didn't intuitively pick up on that turned out to actually be the faster line through it. And it's only really with the delta on, especially on screens, that you notice it. Again, with the Oculus Rift or the HTC Vive, because you get a better perception of speed, it's easier to more intuitively tell if you've done a corner faster or slower. I guess what can help with the screen as well is if you've got the rev counter and the speedo on the screen, or the engine notes particularly good in a simulator, that can help. I just find that with lift for speed, you could really tell from the engine note if you improved your cornering speed. Slowly getting better here. So now I think the tyres, previously the tyres would start going off around about here, but I think we're okay at the moment. Trying to brake a little bit later there. Just driving this really smooth. This is the most riveting viewing, I have to say. I'm sorry that we're not in amongst the crowd. We need to improve our basic lap time so we're actually racing with people, as opposed to lapping like a lunatic on our own. 8th out of 13th. We do have 5 laps though to work our way up the track. Oh, we can do that so much faster. I think it's just a case of shuffling the weight in. We are catching the guys in front. We've picked up the track pace. We've learnt the track in the course of the race. I still feel like we're 2 or 3 seconds off pace, but we are catching. If this was a full length race, there's a good chance that we would have been able to get in amongst the front runners. We'll see by the lap times at the end. Whoa, that was so slow. Almost died of old age through there. We're knocking off hundredths, tenths even, every... oh, too soon. Every lap. So we can knock that in a bit later. And all will be good. Oh, it feels like, again, well, we did that a lot better than previous laps, but you just feel like you go into the corner as a baby and you come out as a granddad with no teeth, wrinkles, and legs that creak. Again, we can do a lot better on that corner because you can sort of slide it through a bit to get on, to be able to get on the power early and give it a little bit of a boost through the corner, mid-corner. And that's actually a good way of knowing that you're off the pace with a track, is that you'll see, or that you can improve yourself a lot, is that you'll see in the delta that it'll go up and down, up and down, up and down like crazy each lap in different places because you're making mistakes in different places. Once you, or I mean this is the case with me, but I'm sure logically it makes sense. Once you actually get to grips with the track, you know, you'll start gaining time in very small fractions in the same places all the time. You won't have so much variation through the track. Until you learn that there's some secret way or special car setup that has to be driven some specific way, and then you're face palming and you have to go through it all again. We're catching up, guys. This is good. Carlos Calibres, we got carried away with a first gear downshift there. Carlos Cabral, poor guy, doesn't have a vehicle because he's suffering from Carlos. Oh dear. We're catching up with him. Let's see what we can do. As long as we keep our... There we go. That's a bit better. We'll have a battle to the finish line here. As long as we don't do anything too reckless. Going into first there doesn't seem to help too much because the traction control kicks in. 2 laps. Oh, we can catch him because we're gaining a sort of... I'm gaining on him at a fair pace here. Unless he's been lapped and that's why he's so slow. Oh, he's there still. I was looking at Ellie Corsa and I was like, is that me or him? Just try and stay up on the inside here. This is an interesting one because I'm not sure where the... braking super... I don't want to just drive into him. We've got 2 laps, so... we might be able to get the inside of here and then get on the power sooner. Just put a bit of pressure on him. The key with this is to get in the right place and make the overtake rather than just hassling all the time. Whoa, he's there was turbo draft in there. I was not expecting that. It was like a Dyson Hoover on the back of his car. I drove into him. Was not expecting the draft to be nearly that effective. There you go. Well, that was easier. That was like having double DRS. I guess these cars are rather brick-like. That puts us into 7th place. We're almost in the points. Not smooth. We don't need to break through there. What am I doing? I know I can just poke the car through that. Welcome to drunk driving with Game of Muscle. Oh no. I mean, we're doing better than previous laps, but it feels so slow. It's every time the traction control kicks in, it's like... it sounds like you're drowning someone. They've actually made the curbing a lot more grippy in recent large updates to AC. It used to be that the curbing would very much be a risk, even with these GT2 cars. If you're going on a turn on them and you get on the power, that's not what you want to do. It would often be the case that you could spin, so especially on tracks like Spa, it'd be really easy to just lose control on the curbing. And Kunos fixed that, which is nice, because that was something that was really annoying. Oh dear. Watch out for that. I find that with simulators, if you have stuff in them that's instant death situations, it just makes them frustrating, regardless of the realism. I mean, if it's a perfectly realistic characteristic happening, that's fair enough, but you can have a sim that's super realistic in many regards, but then you have certain situations that are instant death that you can't avoid, and that can really ruin the enjoyment of the given sim or another aspect of the simulator that you really enjoy. So with AC, I said I really like the tire model and lots of the handling, but that curbing, you'd be doing a longer race and you would hit the Kunos curbing and that would be race over. It was just really, really frustrating. Going slow now, last lap. White flag is out, time to surrender. I wonder if Thiago's managed to win the race. He has, well, he's at the front, so I can only assume that he's obviously drugged the rest of the grid, so he's obviously cheating, and he's obviously practiced, so not acceptable. But the quality of driving has been pretty good. A shame that I've been on my own most of the time. There's obviously been a big split between the drivers that know what they're doing or maybe have setups, and those like myself that don't. Maybe there's been a nice battle at the back. We've just found ourselves in the trenches, in the worst possible place, just driving around on our own for most laps, which is a shame, but that happens, and as long as I'm not being crashed into, it's not too bad. I think that's the one advantage is as more people get into the sim racing system, we'll have more ability to match people up based on skills, so the chance of you driving around on your own will obviously be decreased, and you'll end up with more races where you're battling, which is obviously more exciting than just lapping by yourself. But all said and done, I think this has been it's been a good opportunity for me to get back to grips with this track, get the racing line a bit better. I'll probably do some testing with setups after this, and also I want to, outside the context of a race, just do some really aggressive attacking on the corners and see how much I can throw the car in, and then do some testing with the traction control off. But pretty good as we go over the finish line and finish the race in 6th place, because I think someone's left it. I think someone left there. We didn't actually come in 6th place, but that's pretty good. It'll tell us on the scoreboard, as everyone knew. Thiago won. We're like half a year behind. We'll check the scoreboard, so that's pretty good. Let's have a look. You should be able to see the results when this finishes. You can load it up and then you can check the results down here. Next race is in 3 hours. Races here. And I don't know if our results have been put up yet. No, they've not been updated yet. But they'll get updated here, and then you'll be able to see your actual best lap and your finish time and the results. That's actually fantastic. We'll see where we come on this list. Probably at the bottom, but... really, really good. So SimRacingSystem, again, another fantastic race with them. That was with the GT2 cars at Silverstone. We'll be doing more videos soon. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video. I mean, if you got this far, you deserve a pat on the back and possibly signing up to a mental institution. But I'll see you in the next video that we do. Goodbye.